Alright, hey everybody, got a 2018 Honda Odyssey. This customer's complaint is the right side sliding door, which is over there, does not work. So, the cable's not broken, because they usually break, and then you just have manual sliding doors, but this one has a B2088 right power sliding door base position neutral switch circuit open. Without it, it's not going to operate that door, so you just get the beeping noise. Here, let me bring you around and I'll show you. Alright, so we're over here in the sliding door. Right, it won't, it doesn't automatically slide, so you can use it as a manual door, but when you try to operate it, it makes the beeping noise, right? So we're going to figure out why that position switch is open circuit. We're just going to use a scanner, and we're going to look at live data and see what that position switch is seeing, or what the computer sees at the position switch, and then we're going to find that position switch and see why it's open circuit. So yeah, anyways, let's use this. I'm trying to use this scanner as much as I can. The only thing I found that this scanner will not do is if you were to aim your camera or the radar, there's an option in there for it, but when you click it, it tells you need to buy the targets or required tools to do the aiming. And then, but because we do have those tools, and yeah, it just won't let you do it. And then so I emailed the guy, asked him, hey, it won't aim our Honda Safety Sense, right? And he was like, oh yeah, you got to upgrade it to the $1,000 scanner, right? And then with that $1,000 scanner, you still got to pay like $400 for the software to do the camera aiming. So yeah, I mean, if you were a DIYer, I don't think it's something you want to spend money on, because you're not going to be doing it every day. So I guess that kind of makes sense. What the hell? I wanted to read live data. Yeah. What? No, that's not it. Why didn't it go to all live data? Oh, keys on. I didn't turn on the car. That's why. Let's do that. All right, let's take a look. Position switch, left sliding door, base position. That's the left side. I want the right side. See, sliding door, base position switch says it's on. 1 and 2. So if you compare it to the left, it should be both off, because I guess the door is closed. But I guess so. Let's look at the left side, and then let's see what it shows for those positions switch. So if I open the door, because I can. Okay, so they both go on and then off. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to show. So now we know what it does and what it's supposed to show when you're opening and closing that door. So there's something wrong there. And we're gonna find that position switch. Okay. Let's look at some information and see where that position switch is. Okay, so what we are looking at is this articulating harness. So on live data, it says it's on, so open circuit. So we got to look somewhere in this articulating harness and see where that open circuit is for that neutral position sensor for the sliding door. So this thing should just pop right up. Oh man, okay. Maybe I need to do both hands with this thing. There we go. That's popped off. That's popped off. Oh, there's probably a couple clips. What do you want? Need help?
Yeah, help me put the new head on.
Okay. So that's our apprentice. He's doing a head gasket on a Civic Si. And yeah, second year apprentice doing a head gasket. I told him to watch my video. So yeah, Anyways, let me go help him, and then I'll take this panel off. This can get a little confusing here because I don't know. I always find that Honda wiring diagrams and shop manuals are, you know, they butt heads. So they want us to check continuity between pin number 14 and 18, female connector. So if I go to wiring diagram, this one, so there's our articulating harness, right? The right side. It is wire. So let's imagine this articulating harness, right? Is this part. So we're not looking at the wiring colors on this side. The wiring colors that we're looking at are actually on the male side. So pin number 18, pin number 14, which is a tan wire. So that would be our neutral switch number 2, and then that would be the other end of that neutral switch. So that's why it's confusing, because it asks for the female end, which is this side, but the wire colors are actually on this side, and the correct wire colors is the yellow and tan on the bottom pin. So you're gonna have to match up the colors on this side of the wiring harness to this side of the articulating harness, because they're all green. There's no tan or yellow wire on those pins for on the articulating harness. So what's confusing is the other side of this articulating harness that's shown right here, right? It's this is actually inside the door. That's the other end of this articulating harness connector inside the door. And then there's another connector that goes to the sliding door, what do you call it? Sliding door latch inside. Where the hell did it go? I can't scroll down. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the rear latch. So it's just confusing how they put it like this, because the articulating harness isn't part of the wiring diagram. Oh, well, not the wire colored portion of the wiring diagram. So that's confusing. So what you have to do is actually use the wiring colors on the female. No, this is the male end, right? Compared to the male end. And then you're supposed to check continuity, and there is continuity. So they want us to replace the articulating harness. Let me see if I can. 5th pin is that guy. I'm just gonna gingerly touch it right there, and here's my multimeter, and I'm gonna touch that. It's actually making contact in there. Come on, am I going in? Oh, I need somebody to hold my. There we go. There we go, touching the pin. So there's continuity there between these two pins. And yeah, that's that. So it says you need an articulating harness. Here you go. Let me try without this, because I didn't think the end of this multimeter will touch the pin on it, but it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Touching the pin, and there we have continuity. And assuming it's because it has continuity because that switch is closed, then it stays on all the time. So yeah, anyways, I think I'm just gonna do what the troubleshooter says. Is replace the right articulating harness. Well, is there continuity? And it says, you know, yeah, there is continuity. So you replace the articulating harness. Okay, so as you can see, I got continuity there. So there's a dead short. So it's closing the circuit to cause it to stay on all the time. So something you don't see in the harness, that articulating harness, it could be shorted to something, but I also think that it's because of I'm pretty sure that switch, the neutral position switch, number 2, is in that rear latch. So to confirm that, I can take the door panel off and unplug the rear door latch and see if this thing will will go off, right, to narrow it down even more. But I'm 100% certain my problem isn't on the harness on the inside of the car to the rear sliding door control module. And for that reason is because I disconnected that connector where I was checking continuity and it went off. So my problem is on the articulating harness side to that rear latch. So so now it just narrows it down to, is it the rear latch or is it actually the articulating harness? So both things are an item where, you know, there's always movement, and then yeah. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to remove that rear door panel, rear sliding door panel, and I'm going to unplug that rear latch and see if it still shows the on that base position 2 switch. So that's what I'm going to do next. So yeah, so just by confirming this, I re-plugged it in, right? And of course it's on again. So yeah, simple diagnostic, just using a scan tool with live data, and also terrible information on the shop manual. Like as you can see in the wiring diagram, that switch is in the rear what do you call it, the rear latch. Here, let me show you. So if you go into the wiring diagram, bring that wiring diagram back up. So the neutral switch 2 is in the rear sliding door rear hatch, right? So changing the articulating harness might not even fix the problem. So don't follow what the troubleshooter says just to replace the articulating harness. So yeah, anyways, let me tick off this door panel just to confirm it, so I know it's the latch or the articulating harness. Oh, too close. Zoom out. Okay, so to remove this door panel, we got to remove this guy here, and I think everything else is just clipped on. It's going to be a little tight because there's not much room to pull the panel out, so I have to do it with the sliding door closed. So how do I get this thing, this handle off? Is there is a little clip in there. And then how I get that clip is I use a little pick, put my hand on the bottom so I don't fling it somewhere that I'm gonna lose it, and then I can get that door handle off. So let me pull out that clip and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I remove this thing. How I do that is it's clipped, right? There's a clip in the back, right? So what I do is with my pick, I just go ahead and then I pull on that spring so it releases it, and then yeah, it just comes right off. But don't pull it too hard because this clip can just fly out and then you lose it, and then you gotta buy yourself another clip. But now I'm just gonna remove this door panel. It's pretty tight, so I gotta close the door to pull the panel far enough because it's just clipped in. Yeah, so once I get the door panel off, we're gonna disconnect that rear latch, and then we're gonna look at live data and see if it fixes the problem, because you know you want to confirm, right? Because don't just follow your troubleshooter or your shop manual. You know, you check continuity between the 2 connectors right here, and it says okay, it's there's continuity, there's a short, and they said to replace the articulating harness. But that articulating harness also goes to the switch in the rear latch, so go with the rear latch, right? So don't just follow what your shop manual or your troubleshooter tells you. Kind of think for yourself. Hey, is there something else that goes from that articulating harness to something else, right? Because the articulating harness doesn't have the switch. The switch is in the rear latch. So yeah, just for all of you who are, you know, still learning about diagnosing electrical, you know, reading wiring diagrams and troubleshooting and stuff like that. So yeah, hope something like this helps. Always think for yourself. Don't just follow something. Is my I guess my advice. My phone is dying, so I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm just gonna do a couple more shots of this, but I can already tell you somebody's already been in here. So, you know, you can see this is all torn up. This thing is not even sticking, right? So somebody's already been here. You can see it's all like crumpled up back here. So somebody's been in here already. So, yeah, I'm gonna get you the money shot, and then I'll bring you along. Okay, let's see. Hopefully this is the right connector. So got it disconnected, right? Gonna go up in the front. Well, my scanner's still connected. Turn on the key. Press OK. Oh, there you go. Now it's off. See? So my problem isn't the articulating harness. It is the rear latch. So you see it's off. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it back in. Ow, my head. See, plug it back in. Use my other hand. Okay, plug back in. And there you go. Says on. So do not need the articulating harness like in the troubleshooter says. We need the rear latch. So yeah, anyways, this I'm gonna quote out the new rear latch, and that's the end of my diagnosis for this this customer's complaint. We need a rear latch. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something, and I thank you guys for watching. All right, video's not over yet. So we don't have the part in stock, but the customer approved to replace the rear latch. So parts is not coming in until Saturday. Customer is going to be willing to leave his car until Saturday because today's Thursday, so 2 days. So that also works out for me because I don't have to put the door panel and everything back in. It saves me some time, so I can leave all this here until that rear latch comes in, and then I'll put it in. So it all works out. So I'll bring you back once the parts get here, and I'll replace it, and then we'll confirm that the door is working. All right, good morning, YouTube. So it is Saturday morning. Thank God it's finally Saturday. When you know what that means. It's finally the weekend. So the Odyssey back behind me, where we were diagnosing it a couple of days ago for it not opening and closing, and it had a bad, what was it? A neutral base switch number 2, which is in this guy. Yeah, just by disconnecting it, looking at live data, and it just, you know, it changes comparing it to the left sliding door. But just want to show you this giant, massive latch assembly that sits in your sliding door on the back that pulls the door closed. That's what that is. If you, I don't know, people like to know what the part number is. That's the part number. So we're gonna go ahead, and since everything's still apart, that makes it easier for me to just pop this thing out and then route the cables and everything, and then yeah, we'll recheck it and make sure on live data the switch is doing what it's supposed to be doing compared to last time. So let's get right to it. All right, let's take a look at this thing. I've never actually done one of these, so I don't know if I have to take out this window regulator to get this rear latch out. So I'm gonna see if I can sneak it through this hole here. But other than that, there are these cables that run through it, here, and it runs. Oh, that's your emergency release. If you don't know if your Odyssey doesn't have an emergency release, here it is. There's usually a little, I think there's a little hole cover you pop off to yank on this thing, and it releases the door, just in case. But yeah, all these other cables, it runs to the this latch. Yeah, these two cables. What is it? The yellow one, the blue one, and then this one goes to the what is that? It's the lock or something. No. Okay, so I finally got the latch out. Wasn't too familiar on how to get it out, so I had to look at the shop manual. You actually have to get it past that window run channel that's in there, as you can see. But as I was looking for the shop manual to how to get it out, I came across the recall. There's actually a recall to replace these rear latches, which was already done, which is why we saw that, you know, somebody has been here before, probably most likely from replacing the rear latches for the recall. So that recall came out in like November of 2018, I think. That's what the bulletin said. So back in 2018, 2019, that's when I got laid off from Honda because of COVID, which is why I'm not too familiar with replacing these rear latches. So I got laid off for how many years? A couple years, two years, I think. So I was like, I fed up because they never got me back, right, or brought me back to work. So I ended up finding another job. So that's why I went to Hyundai, because I knew somebody there, and they needed techs to do engines and stuff, and also needed a shop foreman. So I took the position. So that's the story behind that. But just to show you, even though the recall's being done, right, it doesn't mean it's a good part. It can still also fail. So which is what's happening here, but it probably failed in a different way because of the switch inside the the latch, causing it to not open and close. So that's the little backstory from what happened during COVID time. But anyways, I'm gonna try and get that new latch in. I might have to struggle with it because I have to sit like this and trying to reach pretty far in there to get it in there, and then around that run channel inside there. And then all it is 3 bolts on the end there, and then 1 bolt that holds it here. And then it also has the hook somewhere on the inside, which I can't see because there's a hook on the latch that hooks up there to hold it in place, and I have to run the cables back out of these holes. So yeah. Anyways, I'll bring you guys back once I get that thing in, and then I'll hook up the scanner, and then we'll take a look at that switch and see if we fixed our issue. I'm pretty sure I fixed the issue. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so getting that thing in is a real pain in the ass. Let's just say that. But I did get it in, so it's in now. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass trying to get that thing in, and it's sharp here too. When you're trying to reach your arm and everything, you kind of you cut yourself, and but yeah, it's finally in. I can route these cables through these holes. I'm gonna try and route these cables, and then yeah, get this thing all put back together. But I'm gonna go get myself a band-aid first. Yeah, no problem. Oh, all right, so before I put the door panel and everything back on, we're gonna door locked, unlock, turn it back on, and then there you go, door works. And then I'm gonna close it, and the door closes. Now let's try the handle on the outside, and then look. So yeah, there you go. Now it's working. Closes back up again, and there you have it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put the door panel back on now. All right, so I'm hooking up the scanner. I'm just gonna go to live data and show you what it's supposed to be doing in live data. But other than that, this car is also due for service. Warning. Maintenance. It's due for an A1, right? 15%. So also it needs front brakes because I also did an inspection. They're at 3 mil. So customers already declined all of that because they don't get their car serviced here, right? Usually people who come here who never get their car serviced at the dealership, they only come here for repairs, diagnostics, and recalls. And that's pretty much what they do. Because there is an oil change sticker up there, Motocell. I don't know if it's a shop or something, but anyways. Body control module. That's power sliding doors. Let's go to read data. So you don't have to understand what everything is doing, but if you have something that is a known good working one that you can compare it with, say like the left side. So you can see is both saying off, off. This is the left side. So I know that side is good. So you can just you know, open the door and see what it does, right? So when I open the door, it goes on, goes off, and that's what it does. Now if I close it, it goes on, and it goes off as the door is closing, and then I can hear that rear latch cinch down. So that's what that is doing. Now if you go to compare it to the right side, let me just scroll to my right. So before that base position 2 switch was on all the time, which now since I replaced it, it's actually saying off. So comparing it to the left side, open, says on, then it goes off. Now it's fully open. Now if I go close, it goes on and then off. And then I think it's supposed to do something. And now it cinch closes, and then that says on and it goes off. So it's doing the same thing as the left side. So it's good to have a known good one you can compare it with. You don't have to understand how the system works. Just, you know, as long as you have something that you can compare it with, then yeah, then you can make your own judgment. So just want to show you that, you know, don't always follow what the troubleshooter says, because if I had followed the troubleshooter and it told me to replace that articulating harness, I would have, you know, screwed myself, you know, charged the customer for the wrong part, and then it still didn't work. And then it needed then it actually needed the rear latch, which is that rear latch is like $300. So you're charging the customer the articulating harness and also the rear latch. But if you understand and think for yourself and can read a wiring diagram, yeah, because those 2 wires that they wanted to check and wanted to replace the articulating harness also goes to that rear latch. So the switch is in that rear latch. And yeah, and it's just simple. Just unplug it. This thing, when it is not shorted out, it goes to off, and then plug it back in. It does the same thing, as you can see. So yeah, I just want to show you for you guys who are diagnosing things. Just because your shop manual or troubleshooter says to replace something, don't always trust it. Just make your own decisions, and it also helps with you know, a bit of knowledge of how something works as well. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.